The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to HDFC Securities webinar. Today, we are going to cover a topic which is a very important topic and the most important product for all investors. The topic name is Securities Lending and Borrowing. This product is offered by HDFC Securities, wherein customers, investors can lend their shares to the borrowers and earn some extra income from their idle portfolio. Today, we'll talk about the product called SLBM, how to place orders, how to take privilege, and how to see the rates in NSE website as well, and how many stocks are available in the NSE website. So let's go and talk about securities lending and borrowing. As the word itself says, securities lending and borrowing, or stock lending and borrowing, it states lending and borrowing. The word itself explains everything, where I'm lending shares to the borrower and borrower will use those shares for a certain period of time. However, this facility is allowed only for the investors who have an account with HDFC Securities and they can earn some extra income from the idle stocks. The question may arise from the investors, if I give the stocks to the borrower and if the borrower defaults, what will happen to my securities? What will happen to my stocks? This facility is available, or this facility is there's a guarantor between called NSCCL, that is National Securities Clearing Corporation of India. They are the entity, or they are the clearing corporations in stock exchange. Their main function is to clear, settle, and guarantee. So here, the risk is mitigated by them. If the investors or lenders are looking forward to give the stocks to the borrower and earn some extra income, they should feel free to give those shares because the same is taken care by NSCCL. Hence, there's no counterparty risk. When we talk about features of securities lending and borrowing, as the first point states, additional income. For example, a customer A who has 100 shares of TCS, 200 shares of L&T, 500 shares of Reliance, he wants to hold these shares for a long-term period, maybe for a year, 2 years, 3 years, so on and so forth. The investor A, who is the lender, can lend these shares to the borrower and earn some income from the idle stocks. Now, how many stocks are available? Where can I see the list of stocks available in SLBM? These stocks are available in NSE. There are 580 stocks which are available. I will show you the list of stocks which are available in NSE. What will borrower do with those stocks? Borrower will use these stocks as in he has used a cash future arbitrage, or in the case wherein he feels that he's a bearish view on a particular stock, he can borrow the stock, he will sell the stock and buy when the market goes down or it isn't favorable for him. Wherever the difference between the buying and selling, he'll earn some extra income from there. The fourth point, as I state, no counterparty risk. NSCCL is there and acts as a financial guarantee for securities lending and borrowing, and the risk is covered by them. So investors or lenders can freely give the shares to the borrowers through HDFC Securities and NSCCL, who are the guarantors in these transactions. The second question may arise, if I give these stocks to the borrower, when and how much stocks will I give and for how many months or period? The tenure for SLBM can be from 1 month till 12 months, depends on the liquidity, depends on the demand of the borrower. However, it is not restricted that the borrower needs to keep those shares for 1 month or 2 months or 12 months. There are fixed settlement dates on which those shares will come back to the lender's account. For example, if I as a lender, I give the stocks for December series, first Thursday of December is 2nd December, those shares will be credited into my demat account automatically on 2nd December, that is the first Thursday of the respective month. Why securities and lending and borrowing? The main function, as I said, borrower, the main function is borrow the stocks, use them in short sell in the market. When the trader has a negative view on a stock, particular stock, he will borrow from SLBM, sell them in the market, and buy them back when the market falls. The difference between selling and the buying price minus the interest or other cost is the trader's profit. Hereby, borrowers will earn some extra income by difference of buying and selling. And lender, as wants to hold these stocks for a long term period, he will keep on lending stocks to the borrower and earn some extra income from those stocks. Now, there are two kind of series in SLBM, that is Series A and Series B, which we say types of SLBM, Series A and Series B. What are these two series? I will explain in detail. How will you define it? How will you denote it? Those things will be all covered into this. When I talk about Series A, as we all know about it, they are stocks. These scripts or these equity shares, I'm earning some corporate action benefits. Now, those corporate action benefits which companies are providing, the issuers are providing to the shareholders, can be in kind of bonus, right issue, amalgamation, merger, dividend, stock split, consolidation, so on and so forth. Now, if I borrow these, if I lend these stocks to the borrower for a period of 3 months, in case there is any kind of a corporate action, in case there is any kind of corporate action, the stocks will be credited back to the lender's account because the lender is the actual beneficiary owner of those shares. Lender is the actual beneficiary owner of those shares, and the shares will move back from borrower's account to the lender's account. As lender is the beneficiary owner, all the rights, corporate action benefit goes to the lender's account. So 2 days prior to the ex-dividend date, the shares will be debited from the borrower's account and credited back to the lender's account because the rights are there with the lender and lender will get the entire benefits of those corporate actions. In Series B, the contract will close except for dividend and stock split, which means if I as a lender, if I have given stocks to the borrower for a period of 3 months, or stock, the shares will remain to the borrower's account. The benefits will go to the borrowers, that is dividends. Whenever the settlement closes, whenever there's a settlement, that's first Thursday of the settlement month, the original stocks with the benefits, that is dividend or stock split, will be credited back to the lender's account because lender is the actual beneficiary owner of those shares. Borrower is just using those shares or he had just taken those shares for a temporary loan. Borrower has no right on those shares. He will definitely use dividends and stock split for a certain period of time. Except dividend and stock split, any other kind of corporate actions, the shares will be debited from the borrower's account and credited back to the lender's account. In a nutshell, Series A, any kind of corporate action, the contract closes and the shares are debited from the borrower's account and credited to the lender's account. However, in Series B, except dividend and stock split, the entire contract closes and the shares will move back to the lender's account. Dividend and stock split will be, the benefit will be given to the borrower. However, this dividends and stock split will be there only for the certain period of time till the settlement time is over. How will we define Series A and Series B? I as an investor, I as a lender, how will we donate Series A and Series B? Series A and Series B, as we all know, there are 12 months in a calendar year. So in Series A, we will denote, for example, I have a stock called TCS and I want to give these shares for Feb month. So I will mention it as TCS02. That means stock name called TCS. 02 means it is for the month of Feb Series A. For example, if I want to give for August Series A, so I will mention as TCS08. TCS08. If in case if I want to give for Series B for December month, I will mention as TCSXD. D denotes December, X denotes Series B. For example, I want to give HDFC Bank for January Series B, I will mention HDFC Bank X1. That means HDFC Bank stock name for the Series B, because which is X, and 1, that is January. So HDFC Bank X1. For Feb, it will become HDFC Bank X2. And it continues till September X9, October XO, November XN, and December is XD. So I will show you how to place orders, and I will personally place an order and show how the orders are placed in the system. The fourth question may arise: if I give the shares to the borrower will give me some income, that is premium, or in Hindi we say it's a rental income. Will I be charged some income tax like short term, long term, capital gain? Under which taxation I'll be charged? Now, if I give the shares to the borrower and I earn some extra income out of it, first and foremost, I am not transferring the beneficiary ownership. It's just a transfer of shares from one account to the another. And the income which I am getting, it will be not be charged under capital gain. That means I will not be taxed or attracted towards short term or a long term capital gain. However, this is an income which will be charged under income from other sources. It will be charged as an income, but that will be under headings of income from other sources. It will not be under the headings of capital gains taxation. So it's very pertinent that whenever we are giving the shares to the borrower, the income which I receive, the premium which I receive, that will be charged under income from other sources. Subsequently, one more question may arise: if I'm getting this income, when will I get this money? If I give 100 shares of 100 rupees, that is 10,000 rupees, when will I get this money? If I do a transfer today, if the transaction has been placed today, if the T day is today, I will get this income on T plus 1. That means if today is Monday, I will get the funds on T plus 1. Tomorrow, the funds will get credited into my ledger account. That will be there in my bank account subsequently whenever I request my trading member. However, this funds will be reflected on T plus 1. The income will be reflected in the beneficiary owner's ledger account, and that will be taxed under income from other sources. It will not be charged under income from capital gains, because it is not seen as a capital transfer, but it is a temporary lend. On respective month of the Thursday, the shares will move back from the borrower's account to the lender's account as the contract expires. To avail this facility, all the investors needs to have privilege. Granting a privilege is very simple, and availing this privilege for the investors is absolutely easy. So I will show you online how do we get privilege, how do we place orders, and how do I check my orders have been executed or not. And the most important, how will we check the rates in NSE. So let us go to the our HDFC Securities website and show you one by one the steps how to take privilege of SLBM. Most of the investors who have an account have seen this HDFC Securities website. This is our official website of HDFC Securities. Here we have so many things in our website wherein we need to understand how where do I navigate. So I will go to the product section because it's the product called SLBM. And as I'm saying, securities lending and borrowing is the equity product. So here I have a sub product called equity. There I have securities lending and borrowing. I have something called securities lending and borrowing. I click here on securities lending and borrowing. Once I click here on securities lending and borrowing, this is my page wherein it tells you what is securities lending and borrowing. This shows the benefits of securities lending and borrowing and how to get privilege along with the FAQs. So here I have something called how to get privilege. Now there are two ways of getting privilege. The first one, I can go online, click here, download the form. There are 6 pages form. I will download the form. I will sign the page. I will sign the application form. Along with this application form, I need to submit any of the income proof. Like I need to submit my salary slip or 6 months bank account statement, or it can be TP holding statement more than 10,000. Any of the documents, supporting document needs to be attached and send it to the nearest HDFC Securities branch or the operations team, which is mentioned in the application form. However, if the customer feels not to print the form and not to send the courier, then customer also has an option wherein he can apply online. So customer will simply click here, apply online. Here, when customer clicks on apply online, he will accept the terms and conditions. He will accept the terms and conditions and click on proceed. Once he clicks on proceed, customer needs to enter his login ID, username and password. That is login ID, username and password. At the same time, he needs to mention his date of birth for the verification and click on login. Once he logs into this account, he needs to upload the documents as I mentioned earlier. That documents needs to be uploaded. A mail will be triggered from HDFC Securities to the investor's registered email ID that the privilege form has been accepted. He may get a reply within 24 to 48 hours, depending whether privilege has been granted or rejected. If the privilege has been granted, a mail will be triggered on his email ID stating the privilege has been granted to the customer. If not, there will be rejection, which will be mentioned how to clear that rejection. Taking privilege in securities lending and borrowing is absolutely free of cost. Investors should avail this benefit as whenever the price of the stocks comes up or whenever he gets a certain specific price on that securities lending and borrowing, investors can immediately give those shares to the borrower. The privilege is something which every investor should have and avail this benefit at free of cost. Once privilege is granted, now customer or the investor needs to place an order. I'll simply go to HDFC Securities website again. Here in our trading platform, we have our HDFC Securities trading platform that is called as Empowered website. I'll simply click on login. I'll enter my username and password. I'll enter my username, password, my date of birth, and I'll simply click on login. This is my HDFC Securities Empowered website, or we can say the trading portal, wherein I will place an orders for securities lending and borrowing. Securities lending and borrowing SLBM market opens in the morning at 9:15 and ends in the evening at 5 o'clock. So I, as an investor, I can lend the shares till the evening 5 o'clock. So I'll simply go to my equity product. Once I have taken privilege, I'll go to my equity product and I will see here securities, lending and borrowing. Borrow and lend. Borrow and lend. I'll simply click on lend. I'll simply click on lend. For example, I want to give a stock called Kotak Mahindra Bank. So I will write as Kotak Bank. I want to give it for January series. So X1. So Kotak Bank X1. This denotes Kotak Bank, which I want to lend the shares to the borrower. Series B X1 means for January. I'll simply click here. It is already populated. 6th of Jan is the settlement month, Series B. Now I would like to know how many borrowers are there to borrow the shares and how many lenders are there currently in the market who are there and ready to give those shares. So I'll simply click on get quotes. So once I click on get quotes, here you can see how many borrowers are there. There's a one borrower of 1 lakh shares of 25 paisa. However, there are different lenders of 50 paisa, 1 rupee, 1 rupee 49 paisa for different quantities. 66,000 shares, 1 lakh shares and 11,000 shares. So borrower is quoting as 25 paisa, lender is quoting the lowest at 50 paisa. So here the price is there's a price disparity. If the price matches, the order will go through. If the price matches, the order will go through. So if I want to place an order for example, a stock called TCS, I'll mention as TCS XD. That means for December. Are there any borrowers, lenders? I'll check here. There are no borrowers as of now, but there are lenders. So I, as an investor, I can also lend my shares. I'll simply click 10 shares at a price of 5 rupees. At a price of 5 rupees. Once I click here and place an order, I'll confirm this order. I am ready to lend 10 contracts, that is 10 shares of TCS for December series expiring on 2nd December at rupees 5. So I click here to confirm order. It will automatically ask me which demat account do I need to debit. In case if I have a 2 demat accounts, I'll click here and select the demat account number. But however, when the shares moves back on 2nd December in my demat account, it will go to my default demat account. I'll select here and I'll click on confirm. So this is how I place an order in SLBM, Securities Lending and Borrowing. The most important thing which I as an investor, we all as an investor may think about it. If I want to give some certain shares, I have 10 shares, 15 shares, I have 25, 50 shares in my account. In which shares should I give and use this facility? So I'll simply go to NIC I click here on NSE SLB rate. So I'll get the list of stocks which are available in NSE, and I will also get the rates which are quoted by borrowers and lenders. I'll simply select Series B. For example, I want to select for Series B January. I'll select here January 2022. So here I can see Metropolis. There's a borrower for 10 rupees for 1000 shares. However, there's a lender for 80 shares for 90 rupees. So here I can see the list of stocks. For Equitas Bank, there's a borrower for 2000 shares at 70 paisa. However, there's a lender for 5000 shares at 1 rupee. So now how will I get my income? How can I know what is my income in SLB, Securities Lending and Borrowing? As an investor, I can easily come to know what is my income in Securities Lending and Borrowing. For example, HDFC Bank, 1,10,000 shares at 25 paisa. So if I'm a borrower, if I'm a lender, I'll simply click here. I want to give 1 lakh shares. I'll simply click 1 lakh, and at how much paisa? 25 paisa. I want to give at, for example, 40 paisa. So I'll simply click at 40 paisa. The total lending fee is 1 lakh shares. Total lending fee is 40,000. I, as an investor, I will earn 32,920 rupees. 15% brokerage, which is charged by HDFC Securities, 18% of GST, which is charged on brokerage, and 32,920 is my net income, which will be charged under income from other sources. Which will be charged from income from other sources. So this is the website wherein I can check at what price, how many shares I can give it to the lender. For example, I want to give, I have Infosys 30,000 shares. I'll simply click here 30,000 shares. Borrower is ready to take it at 25 paisa. I want to give it at 1 rupee. So I'll simply click 1 rupee. It's a demand supply market. So once I click on 1 rupee, the total lending fee is 30,000. However, the brokerage is 4,500, and net lending fee, the income which I'm getting from this transaction, I as a lender, I as an investor or a beneficiary owner, I will earn 24,690 rupees, which is income from the stocks which are idle kept in my demat account. So I as an investor, I can use this facility and give it to the shares I can give to the borrower and earn some extra income. You can definitely get in touch with your RM who will assist you how to place an order, or we have also shown you, sir, ma'am, how to place an order by going to equities, going to click on lend and place an order. So I'll simply, for example, I want to give shares of LNT or stocks which is available. I'll just simply click here. I'll check the stock name. For example, I want to give Reliance 10,000 shares. There's a 10,000 shares. Somebody is ready to borrow 10,000 shares. I have Reliance. For example, I want to give Reliance. I'll simply click here. Reliance X1. That means Reliance for December series, January series B. I want to give 10 shares at 5 rupees. I'll simply click on order. The order will get confirmed and the order will get placed. This is how we place an order. This is how we use this product. We as investors can use this product and lend the shares to the borrower and earn some extra income. I'm open for question and answers. I will be glad to answer all your queries, questions, and clear your doubts. I request you to please have your questions here on your chat box screen so that we can answer queries. Okay, there's a question from Mr. Agarwal. What is the brokerage securities will charge for securities lending? So as I stated, brokerage we charge is 15% on the lending fee, that is premium. There's a question from Mr. Pavinder Kaur, what is the interest percentage that lender can expect? Sir, it all depends on the borrower, the price. Mostly it depends on the demand and supply. As if the borrower requires those shares, he will definitely borrow those shares from the lender. Depending on the price, depending on the demand, the prices are changed. So it all depends on the driven market by the borrower. Mr. Agrawal has stated, how can I get a list of securities that I can offer for securities lending and borrowing? We can simply go to NSE website. In NSE website, we can go to products. In products, we can go to securities lending and borrowing. Here, at about securities lending borrowing, I can get the list of eligible securities. There's a question from Mr. Rajesh. What if NSCCL defaults? Sir, NSCCL is a clearing corruption. The function of NSCCL is to clear and give financial guarantee and settlement. So NSCCL is an entity. It's an entity by NSE wherein all the transactions cleared and settled are done by NSCCL, whether it's equity, derivatives, or if it is securities lending and borrowing. There's a question from Mr. Agrawal. Can we do good till date order for securities lending and borrowing? No, sir. Sorry, we don't have this facility for good till date in SLBM. However, we have taken your request. If in case we are implementing the same, we'll definitely take care of this same. And we are glad that we have a feedback from your side, sir. There's a question from Mr. Avinash. Orders will only execute when you're expected the prices match. Yes, sir. All the orders in the NSE or BSC, all the orders, whether equity, derivatives, currency, commodities, all the orders in the NSE or BSC in the exchange market is price time priority. So if it is the prices matches, then the times comes into picture. All the orders in the exchange are placed or executed to price time priority. There's a question from Mr. Manohar. Is it only available for NSE stocks or even BSC? Sir, it is only available for NSE stocks. There's a question from Mr. Amrit. What is the minimum brokerage for SLBM? Sir, there's no minimum brokerage in rupees. However, we charge 15% brokerage on the premium. A very good question from Mr. Mukul saying, is there any minimum lot? Sir, there is no minimum lot which is there in SLBM. You can even lend your shares as one. There cannot be fractions, but you can give your shares 1, 2, 3, 4 units, tens, numbers, or thousands or 10,000s. It all depends on the investors, but there's nothing called minimum shares. It cannot be less than one. Okay, there's one more question, Mr. Avinash. Can you integrate SLB in NSE to your portal to check availability? Okay, sir, we are glad to have this feedback and we'll look forward and we'll definitely look into the same. There's a question, Mr. Agrawal. Is there a facility where we can get a consolidated list of securities in demand for different periods? In NSE website, we have to go through details and company to determine which period there is a specific demand. Yes, sir, it is available like this only. However, in our HDFC securities, we also if you have to lend the shares for January or December or Feb, you will have to select the month and series. Then only you will find the same. So there is nothing wherein I can get a consolidated report in Excel sheet or spreadsheet when all the securities are available because demand and supply changes every day. Okay, there's a question from Mr. Ramaswamy. What is the risk for the lender? So there's no risk for the lender as these shares are guaranteed by an SCCL. There's no risk for the lender. Only what is the worry or cause of worry for a lender is the price, because today there's a demand, the price quoting is 5 rupees. Tomorrow there's no demand, the price quoting may be 1 rupee. Day after tomorrow there's huge demand, the price will be quoting as 10 rupees. So the price is something which every investor should or lender should be sure shot If once the shares are debited from the account and the funds are credited, the deal or the contract is done. Okay, there's a question, Mr. Harish Raghavan. Do you provide research recommendation for stocks and derivatives? Yes, sir, we do provide, and we'll look forward for the same. Okay, there's a question, Mr. Kashyap. On what date on what date money will be credited in the lender's account? Sir, the transaction happens on T day. T plus one, the funds will be credited to the lender's account. T plus one, the funds will be credited to the lender's account. T, the transaction happens, the funds will be credited on T plus one. There's a question from Mr. Mukul. If borrower defaults, how much time it will take to credit back the account? Sir, NSECL is there. They will ensure the funds will be credited back to your account or the shares will be given back to you. There's a question, Mr. Rajesh. If you are so sure about NSECL, would HDFC also provide a guarantee? Sir, HDFC is already a part of an exchange, a part of a clearing corporation. However, we will definitely provide you a contract note which states this transaction is legal and which will definitely give the entire details of the transaction. NICCL is there who is taking care of the guarantee part. We will provide you the contract note for the said transactions, which will be the contract which you will have it at your end. Okay. There's a question from Mr. Manohar. What is the default lending period? There's no default lending period, sir. There's no default lending period. The default lend there's you can give your shares for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It depends on the investor. It depends on the investor. Right. There's a question from Mr. Mayur Mehta. I understand that securities lending scheme is for securities. Securities are defined as per SCR Act. As per SCR Act definition of securities includes units of mutual funds as well. Currently, in practice, SLBM is functional for equities. How does it? How does for units of mutual fund works? Is it there? Is there any other mechanism for SLBM, sir? Uh, in securities lending and borrowing, NSCCL provides only for scripts, that is equity shares, and we are providing the same for all our investors. Okay, there's a question for Mr. Agrawal. What is the difference in the risk between Series A and Series B? Which series typically normally offers a higher yield? Fantastic question, sir. So Series B is the best which you can offer because you can give your shares on Series B. The reason being, I would say, the lender will give the shares to the borrower on Series B. He would definitely get some amount of higher premium because in Series A, if there's any corporate action, the contract closes. However, in Series B, the contract remains the same, specifically for dividend and stock split. Other than these two, the contract closes. But dividend and stock split, if there is any, the contract remains the same, and you would definitely get the benefits of corporate actions once the original shares will come back to your demat account. Okay, there's a question again from Mr. Ramaswamy. In the bear market, will this be an opportunity? Currently, what volumes are done? Okay, so in bear market or the market when it is bull, we as an investor, we are looking for a long-term period. If you are looking to keep those shares for a long-term period, if you're looking to keep these shares for a very long-term period or long-term period, you can use this facility. The market may go either way around. The market may be range bound, but since you have those good quality stocks in your demat account, those stocks will be kept for maybe a couple of months or years. You can give these shares to the borrower and earn some extra income. Hence, only investors who would like to keep those shares for a long term period would use this facility. Okay, Mr. Rajesh, there's a question, Mr. Rajesh. How does one know the market rate for a particular script and what is the minimum lending? So, minimum, there's no minimum lending. You can even lend your shares 1, 2, 3, 4 units, 10,000, whatever, right? Uh, so, question for the first one: how do you know the market rate for a particular script? So, you will have to go to NSE website wherein you can check the borrower's price, or you can go to HDFC Securities website where you can check the lender's price as well. So whenever you're placing an order, you can check the lender's price as well, the borrowers and lending price. I'm showing a screen. For example, I want to lend T's LNT, so I'll mention LN Larsen into Bro. Okay, it's not there. Dr. Lalpat Labs XD. So here I get the list of lenders and borrowers. So here you can see lenders 20 rupees lenders at 1998. There's a one lender here. Any other questions, sir, ma'am? Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Ramaswamy. Minimum lending period. Rajesh, sir, as I said, there's no minimum lending period. You can even lend your shares for 1 month, 2 months, maximum 12 months. But do remember, sir, liquidity is there for 1 month and 2 months. If you ask me liquidity for March, April, May, there's hardly or even I would say no liquidity. So if I want to lend those shares, I will lend those shares for a period of 1 month or 2 months for December or January series because you may find the borrower there itself. Okay. There's a question from Mr. Agrawal. In NSC, you showed something called December 21, December D1, December D2. What does that mean? That is rollovers wherein we can roll over the contracts. That contracts currently we are not offering that. But yes, those are rollovers wherein we can roll over the series from December to January. Thank you, Mukul sir. I'm glad to have those constructive feedback from your end, sir. Any other question in Series A as well, Mr. Agarwal? Series A as well. That is rollovers DF DJ for Feb or January. Any other questions? Okay. There's a question from Mr. Patel. Sir, my amount I invested in stocks now not seen in security account. Okay, sir. It seems you have bought some stocks and those stocks you are unable to see in your security account. So, since you have bought those stocks, you will be able to see those stocks in your demat account. Demat account is an account wherein you hold your securities, you hold your assets. So, I request you to kindly check your demat account wherein your stocks would be available. If not, you can get in touch with your relationship manager. He will assist you to check all your stocks which are available with you. Okay, demat account checked. So I will tell your RM to get in touch with you and resolve this query at the earliest. Can you please repeat Series A and Series B difference? Okay, so in Series A, as I stated, in Series A, if I have given some shares to the borrower in Series A, any kind of corporation, the contract closes then and there itself. 2 days prior to the execution date, the shares will be debited from the borrower's account and it will come back to the lender's account, that is you as an investor. However, in Series B, the process remains the same. The process remains the same, except for dividend and stock split. Except for dividend and stock split. In dividend and stock split, the contract continues. Only in case of dividend and stock split, the contract continues. And you will definitely get the benefit of dividend and stock split whenever the contract is expired or settled. Any other questions, sir, ma'am? Thanks, sir. I hope the session was good. And okay, there's a question again. There's a question: who controls NACCL on borrower? Okay, what is a control? What control NSCCL has on a borrower? Yes, sir, there is a control because NSCCL is a guarantor, so he has definitely guaranteed you the transactions. However, borrower or the trading member of the borrower needs to have some deposit money, which borrower will definitely give it to the borrower will give it to the broker, and broker will in turn give it to the NSCCL. NSCCL will guarantee all these financial transactions between both the parties. So don't worry, sir. Absolutely don't worry. We'll hang up this session. Mr. Patel, I'll definitely tell your, any relationship manager to get in touch with you. Mr. Manohar, how do you get, how do you know about the future webinar sessions? Sir, you'll definitely get mails. You'll definitely get mails. At the same time, we always post our details, the webinar details on our social media, that is Facebook, Instagram, and you can check it and you'll definitely get the details out there. Thanks, Mr. Patel. I'll hang up the session, and do take very good care of yourselves. Thank you and do take care. Log out. Thanks, sir.